Hey everyone, Louis V here from Vinyl Latte, and I want to welcome you back. Today we have a sort of a special episode. It's special for me. I'm going to share with you some of my most recent Mobile Fidelity acquisitions, if you will, records that I've collected, and this is really special to me for a couple reasons. One, it's a label that I've been sort of ultra collecting, meaning that when I'm going out on record stores or looking for records on Discogs, I've been really focused on this label, trying to build out my catalog, if you will, of Mobile Fidelity releases. The other side of this is that I got some grails in here, man. I got some really hard to find rare records. Some I think is really going to impress you. And the collection is all in different genres. I'm going to try to break it up into some categories to make it a little bit easier for you to skip into chapters. But I'm just excited. I'm excited that one, for new music. I'm always excited for new music, but I'm also excited that just some of these records, man, I've been looking for a long time. And if you're a record collector, you know that feeling. You know that feeling of, holy crap, I finally found it. I found it at a fair price. I finally found it in a good copy. It's a playable copy. And you're just excited. You're excited to take it home. I think one of the cool things you're going to notice of this latest acquisition is that most of these records are near mint, if not sealed. And a lot of them are low numbered copies, which is really cool if you're a collector. So this is going to be probably a lengthy video. I recommend you go get yourself a cup of coffee and get yourself comfortable for a little while, because we have a lot to go over. I'm not going to get into all the specifics of what makes these albums great. You already know a lot of the albums that I'm going to share with you in a moment, but I am going to share with you just a little bit of tidbits about them, and you'll see. We'll go together. We'll see how this plays out. But the first one I want to share with you is this. This is The Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, 1979. I mean, this is probably one of the most famous MoFi releases ever. Really just expanding the incredible clarity and wide sound stages already on this album. And yes, this album has been mastered and reissued, etc. So many, countless times. But this, for Pink Floyd fans and for Mobile Fidelity fans, this is one, it's almost a must-have to have in your collection. And this is a near mint copy. I found this when I was traveling in California. I stopped at a record store in San Jose called Needle in the Groove. And I got to be honest with you, I was there a couple months prior. I saw the record there for sale. Didn't have the budget at the time because I bought something else. And when I went back, it was still there. And I'm like, nope, this is meant to come home with me. So I was glad to pick that one up. Okay. The next one up is Abbey Road. This is the Beatles. This is from 1980, and it's still sealed with the hype stickers on the half-speed mastering and the sticker that says a brand new experience. I mean, yeah, this is an audiophile grade version of Abbey Road. I think what makes this so special is probably the first audiophile grade version of this record. I know with the Beatles, it's a little bit subjective because some people don't like the MoFi mastering of them, where they've kind of put the EQ, the bass and the treble back into the mix. I think there's argument there whether that should be in the mix or not. I think the Beatles really wanted their music to be accessible to all people, with no matter what their setup was. They wanted their music to sound good, no matter if it was coming from the radio or from a record. So they kind of top and tailed the mix down a little bit there, reducing the treble, reducing the bass. MoFi kind of puts that back in. They call it the smiley face EQ. Different debate for another day. Maybe we'll do a video about that, but does it belong, does it not? I don't know, but these records put them back in. They're supposed to sound phenomenal. So I'm really happy to get that record here. The next one here is Let It Be. This is from 86, MoFi record. Again, arguably one of the best records the Beatles have put out. I think Abbey Road, Let It Be, there's a bunch of, like, what is the best Beatles album? I think is really subjective, but this is one that I've been really happy to get my hands on, still sealed. And I think what's cool is I've been trying to get all of the MoFi Beatles pressings. I tend to get into these things where, like, all the Bob Dylans, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, I want all the MoFi reissues, and you'll see I have a couple of those here I'm going to share with you in a moment. Another one I want to get here with the Beatles is Rubber Soul. Now, this one wasn't sealed. I did buy this one pre-owned, but it's in pretty great shape. The outer cover is VG+. The record is near mint. Looks like it was never played. This really is cool, man. This really brings out some rich... I played it, and Norwegian wood is phenomenal. Michelle sounds wonderful. I mean, this is just such a great record all the way around. So really excited to be able to add this one to the collection as well. Okay, moving out of the Beatles. This is cool, man. This is I haven't found this one in the wild, and then I finally did, and I had to grab it. It is Sticky Fingers. This is Rolling Stones. Now, it doesn't come with the interactive zipper. It's an embossed zipper and that kind of gold stamp. But this is from 1981, arguably a near mint pressing all the way around. Sounds beautiful. I played it a few nights ago. It's just a wonderful sounding record. Really stands out, man. The dynamics in the rock. I mean, honestly, I have a couple versions of Sticky Fingers. Quite arguably, this is one of the best sounding ones I've heard in a long time. So I'm really happy to be able to add this to the collection and continue to try to fill out my Mobile Fidelity Rolling Stones version. So this next album is nothing new. I actually talked about this album in the past. I bought it when it first kind of came out on the reissue. I just picked up a second copy because MoFi made a statement that they're running out the last that they have available, and then they're not going to be repressing this for a long time. And it's one of my favorite albums, one of my most played albums, and that's Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms. I really love this album. This album, to me, sounds amazing. I've never heard Brothers in Arms sound better. Quite frankly, all of the Dire Straits MoFi releases are just really, really, really stellar. They sound amazing. I don't know. If you buy one MoFi record to see how it sounds, I would pick a Dire Straits record. I would probably pick that one. It's just phenomenal. For me, that's how I feel. That originally came out in 2019, and they're finally running out of stock. So it looks like they made a ton of them, but I really just wanted an extra copy. Okay, and now we get into, this is Layla and the Other Sort of Love Songs by Derek and the Dominoes. Classic album. Low number on this one. This is 65. This comes out from 2017. You got awesome guitar work from Eric Clapton on here, joined by Dwayne Allman. I mean, this is just such a killer record. One of, I think, Rolling Stone's top, records of all time. Still sealed. MoFi pressing, just a cool find, one that's been on my list to grab for a while. Okay, the next category here I'm going to break out is sort of some of the one-steps and SuperVinyl releases that I picked up. I'm going to start out with, and these are mostly box sets. This is the older box set style. This is the Donald Fagen's Nightfly from 2017. Really just cool box set here. Some great songs on this record. It's still sealed, so I'm kind of curious to know how it sounds, but I know that album just sounds killer regardless, so I'm looking forward to hopefully experience some extra fidelity there. Another one I picked up, this came out this year, 2025. This is the Michael Jackson Off the Wall pressing. I have the Thriller one step, and to me is the best version of Thriller that I've ever heard. Now, I will comment that in that pressing, they did some work on the mastering, and it kind of made it purposely sound a little bit different than any other copy. And you either like that or you don't like it. I really like it. I think there's a lot that comes out that's been buried in that mix for quite some time that comes more to the surface, and you could really enjoy that album at a new level. I heard that's not really the case with Off the Wall. They stood more true to the original mastering. I was hoping that they would master it very similar to Thriller because I like to have, if I'm going to have multiple copies of a record, I'd like it to be mastered a little bit different, so therefore I have some different experience. But neither here nor there. This is supposed to be a great sounding record, and this is number 800 out of 6,000. So somewhat of a low number, not nearly as low as some of these double-digit ones that we have. Okay, this next one is it a grail? Maybe not, but it's one that's been on my list for a while. This is a Janis Joplin Pearl album from 2021. Fantastic record. I mean, you know, first off, this Janice's raspy vocals, man, and it just is just killer on this album. Probably one of her more soulful performances that she's put together. It's no wonder why this is one of the top albums of all time. I can't comment on how this sounds. Obviously, the box set's still sealed, like most of these records, they're all still sealed. But I am very interested on getting my hands on this record, getting it open, and getting on a turntable to really hear the difference in the mix compared to some other copies. And if that's something you want me to do, if you'd like me to come back and kind of review these albums, tell you if they really make a difference or not, I'm happy to do so. Just leave me a comment. Leave me your albums that you'd like me to do a review on in the comments below. All right, these are the new box sets. I like these new box sets from MoFi a lot better because they fit on the shelf. They take up, arguably, I think, a little bit less than half of the shelf space of the old box sets. It's quite frankly a format that I wished Acoustic Sounds would have followed to kind of help reduce the footprint. To me, this is a nice box set. I'm really happy with this change. But this is from the boss himself. Greetings from Ashbury Park, New Jersey. This one came out in 2023. And the comments on this one is that this album's never sounded better. I don't know. I haven't listened to it, obviously. So I'm kind of curious to see how it really stacks up, but there's a lot of people that say that this album has never sounded better. So very interested in that. And also this one, another one from the boss, The Wild, The Innocent, The E Street Shuffle. This is a 2,997 copy out of, I thought, 7,500. So two from the boss that I'm really looking forward to giving a spin. Okay, we're gonna switch over now to some classic soul, R&B, and funk. And I think one of the albums that really is one of the greatest soul albums ever released is a great way to start this. Still sealed. This is Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On, man. And if this isn't an album that defines a genre, I don't know what it is. This is also a great album to put on when you get back from a date, man, and you just want to put on the mood. Let's Get It On is definitely the album. This is a low number. This is number 81. This album originally got reissued by MoFi in 2008, and this is a 2008 copy. I got to tell you, I got the latest reissue of this. I got all the hype when it was available for pre-order. It was supposed to come with an extra disc with some stuff on it. I think it's horrible. The reissue, not from MoFi, it's from somebody else, but the reissue is horrible. It sounds horrible. I don't like the mastering at all. I think that it's just not, I don't know. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to let it go. I'm probably going to sell it. But it's just not a good sounding record at all. I think the only reason why I haven't sold it yet is just I feel bad selling it to somebody because it's just a crap sounding record. Like, on a Discogs, I would probably give it a 2 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5 if I felt I wanted to be gracious about it. But yeah, that one's supposed to sound a heck of a lot better, and I'm looking forward to it. I also have an older copy too, so I'm kind of curious to do some A and B there. Also keeping in that soul, we got the Curtis Mayfield. This is from 2009. This is Superfly. Now, it doesn't come with the die cut, but it is a gatefold, and this is my first time I ever got a record that has the gatefold sleeve. I think this is pretty cool. I'll probably end up taking it off because I'm a guy who likes storing my records inside the cover. It reduces shelf space for me, and you know, I've had an incident where somebody pulled a record out and then the record went flying across the room. So once that happens to you once, it's kind of always in your eyes. See, they kind of slide out very easy. Once that happens to you once, it's always in your mind. So I like the added protection of them being inside with the sleeve so they don't fall out. But yeah, I have a couple pressings of this as well, not the Mobile Fidelity, obviously, so I'm excited about this one. Even though it's pre-owned, I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet. I got to get it cleaned in the ultrasonic cleaner and give it a spin. But I heard the 45 really does help bring up the sound on that one. It's almost like cinematic. So very interested to see how that turns out. Still keeping with inside the genre, we got Stevie Wonder. This is Music on My Mind. This is sort of an overlooked gem, I feel, in his catalog. It's not really as popular as some of the other ones. This is number 87, a low number, but it's definitely not as popular as this one. This is Talking Book from 2011 as well. And this has got the hits, you know, man. This has got Superstition on it. You know, you are the, oh, it's hard to read back here. You Are the Sunshine of My Life. You got some really cool tracks. A little hard to see here with the contrast and the low lighting, but this is silver label number 82 on this one as well. And you can see a lot of cool sealed low number pressings, which is really, really cool when you're a collector out there trying to find rare records. Now, this next one came out last year. It's got some good reviews from folks. Some people don't like the mix because they felt like it's just, I don't know, it's just cut a little bit different than other ones. But this is the Whitney Houston self-titled record. I actually had a copy of this before, and I had an issue where I was getting a needle jump early on. So I got rid of that one. I stayed away from the record for a while, and I finally got another copy. Haven't listened to it yet, still sealed, but I do have the Japanese press of this album, which is supposed to be definitive. And I'm looking forward to comparing the two together to see how it sounds. So we'll have to see, you know, because I think the Japanese mix is done a little bit differently as well, and I think that's why they call it definitive. Arguably, I don't think Whitney's records were ever really recorded in an audiophile way, which is a shame because her voice, man, deserved to get the best treatment ever, and it just didn't. Okay, closing out this segment, we got The Spinners. This is from 2015, self-titled record. And I gotta say, man, this is probably one of the greatest Philly soul albums ever. You got a lot of hits on here. I'll Be Around is one of those hits. Could It Be I'm Falling in Love is another one. This is really cool. I think this originally came out in 73. This is supposed to be a great sounding record. And this one's fairly inexpensive when I found it too. I don't think The Spinners is something that people actively collect. So it was easy to get a hold of that one at a really good price. Okay, the next category that I've kind of put together here is singer-songwriters and folk rock. And before I get into this, we're about halfway through the list. If you're really enjoying these, going through this video with me, make sure you hit the like button and also drop your comments below. I always love to know what records you're picking up. So if there's a new Mobile Fidelity record that you picked up or you have something on pre-order, share it with me. I know like Santana stuff is coming out and there's been some other cool reissues that are coming out. So I love to know what you're picking up and why you're picking it up because I think of that stuff, man. I think of my community when I'm out there picking up records and, you know, listen, if everybody's like, hey man, I'm going for this record because it's supposed to be great, then I'm going to jump in with you guys. I'm going to share that experience with you because that's what community is all about. Now, this next one's really cool. I think this is really cool. We're getting really old school MoFi here. And I think this was just a steal of a lifetime. This is Cat Stevens. This is the T for Tillerman record. When they used to do the UHQR. So this is a Mobile Fidelity with the UHQR treatment. Before Analog Productions owned the copyrights to it, they bought the copyrights to the UHQR method of treating records or pressing records. This is really, really cool. It's a 33, it's not a 45, but it's from 1982, and it's just a cool box set. The box itself is, you know, VG plus, maybe VG, depending on how you categorize it. But the record is in phenomenal condition, like near mint. So yeah, I mean, the box has seen maybe slightly better days, but the record itself is just wonderful, and it sounds really good as well. It's just, to me, this is just really cool. It's my first UHQR MoFi pressing that I have added to the collection. Of course, it just opens up a whole new can of worms for me because now I want to go like, you know, collect more of them. And I'm seeing some of the prices on these on the aftermarket. I'm just like, Christ, I need to get a second job. I already need a second job with all these records. And now I need a second job just to collect the older MoFi records. But anyway, cool find. And I got to give credit where credit's due. That actually came across my attention in a popular Discord channel. Somebody shared a link to somebody who was selling one. And when I clicked on the link and I realized that nobody bought it yet, I picked it up. It was fairly inexpensive, less than half the price that record normally goes for. So I took a chance. I thought maybe I was going to get scammed, but ended up not getting scammed. It was a good deal. So I'm glad to have it. All right, carrying on, folks. How about a little Simon and Garfunkel? This is Bookends. Great record. Great harmonies, good storytelling, famous record. You could pick this up, reissued a lot. I mean, this is almost a must-have for a lot of people, just add to their collection, but cool to get the Mobile Fidelity version of that. That came out, I think, in 2024. They had it out. They ran a bunch of copies. They sold out. The price jumped up crazy, and now they've just been able to reissue another batch of them as well. So if that's a record you've been looking to purchase, maybe check Music Direct or MoFi.com. You might be able to get it at just typical MSRP, because I just picked that up and it was just normal price. I didn't have to pay any additional money from aftermarket. And when I saw how much some of that stuff was going on Discogs, I'm like, wow, I'm glad I got just a regular MSRP copy of that. Keeping with Simon and Garfunkel, also got the Paisley Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. Talk about all your condiments here, record. And this is supposed to have really great acoustics, really great vocals on it, just really clean and pristine throughout. So I'm looking forward to giving this a spin. This was originally from 2019 when this came out. So cool record there. And yeah, man, just some really, really cool stuff. But I think I got one more. Yeah, maybe one more. Yeah, two more maybe in this category, and then we'll switch categories, guys. I got Rod Stewart, Every Picture Tells a Story from 2011. This is copy number 79, another double-digit copy. This is where rock kind of meets folk. Cool little addition there. Glad to add that one to the list. And then another record that's on a lot of people's top list of one of the greatest albums of all time. This is Linda Ronstadt, Heart Like a Wheel. This came out in 2017. And, I think it's on Rolling Stone's top list. This is number 69 out of 4,000. So another just low number. You can see so many low numbers, so many sealed records, man. You can imagine why me as a collector, as a true collector that likes rare pressing, hard to find stuff, low number stuff, I just feel like I've hit the jackpot lately with picking up, these MoFi records. So just super, super excited about that. I do have one more. I'm sorry, I forgot that I got this one as well. But this is the John Lennon's. This is a Plastic Ono band. Arguably, I think Lennon's one of his top albums he ever came out with. Emotionally raw album, just fantastic. This is another low number. It's number 80 on here. A lot of records I got were in the 80s. And I think this is really cool because it has this older Gain 2 sticker. I haven't seen that sticker before, so I thought that was really cool version, to get. So just something kind of new and again sealed. So how cool is that, man? And I don't know if I said this earlier, but I think that came out in 2005. Okay, this next section is a couple Bob Dylan records. So this is my Bob Dylan section, and I'm really excited about these because this kind of closes out my Bob Dylan MoFi collection. I now officially have every MoFi Bob Dylan record released. So that, to me, you check the box, that part of the collection's finally complete. Now I can focus on other things. To kind of close that out, it was 11th F. This was originally from 2020. This is copy number 72 out of 3,000. So really cool double LP on 45s there. Also have Planet Waves from 2015. This is number 95. Cool record, I guess, to add. And then the last, I got two more. This is Bring It All Home. This is number 88. This is also on the 45 as well. 2 LPs. And then the last one that I picked up is from 2012. And there's a little bit of a story behind this, but this is the Basement Tapes. This is in the 6,000, so nothing too low. But the story behind this one, though, is that I had a friend trade this copy in at our local record store, and then I ended up having to buy it from the local record store. And I'm just like, dude, why didn't you just tell me directly? Because I had to pay the price, right? I would have just bought it directly from my bud and been able to probably get it a lot cheaper, but those things happen. The good news is I know that this was in good hands and was treated well. A little bit of a corner dent here. So I would call the the cover kind of VG plus, but the records themselves are near mint, look like they've never been played. So really just clean copy all the way around. Okay, I did pick up a one jazz album. So my jazz section, I'm sorry guys, if you click to this in the chapters, is just one. I apologize. But it's Miles Davis in a Silent Way. From what I heard, this is an excellent sounding reissue. All of the Miles Davis MoFi copies are phenomenal, and that is sort of a masterpiece of electric jazz on that album, and I just heard it sounds great, so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, getting into that all in indie rock essentials, we're gonna start out with the Pixies from 2009. This reissue came out. An icon of, alternative rock. This album just like really, really kind of just, I don't know. I think for me, I feel like what the Pixies really did was bring alternative rock. And I don't even know if you really can call the Pixies alternative rock. I feel like they blend so many genres together, but it really opened people up, I think, to some music that normally they wouldn't listen to. This is copy number 62, another low number from 2009. And also from 2009 was this reissue of the Pixies. This is the Surfa Rosa album, great albums. I think both of these are listed as some of Rolling Stone's top records of all time. Yeah, just fantastic copies to get. Now, this next one has a little bit of a story to it, too. This is Elvis Costello, Imperial Bedroom, number 88. This originally came out in 2012. And there's a little bit of story to this because I've been hunting for this record for a while. And every time I've come across it in the wild, there's always been like a scratch on a disc or something like that. And it's just like, there's always something that makes me not buy it. Then I was going to buy this from a mate in Australia. And then just as we were putting everything together, he kind of backed out of the deal. So this is one of those albums just eluded me for so long. Now, finally able to get a copy, and in waiting, sometimes waiting pays off. So I got this at a fair price. Sealed copy, low number, 88, and I feel so much happier now. It's like sometimes when a record's a little bit challenging to get and you finally get your hands on it, there's like this a little bit of a rewarding sensation that comes over you, and I got that experience with that one. Keeping it with Elvis Costello, this is My Aim Is True. This is also another great one. This one's actually pre-owned. I would say the cover on this is VG+, has a little bit of soft edges and a little bit of peel on the side. But what's cool about this is that the record, again, is very clean. All of these records, none of these are VG+ records. They're all near mint or mint, depending if they're sealed or unsealed. I think that's what really makes this collection to me really cool, is because they're all great records, MoFi collectors, low numbers for the most part, and just fantastic condition. I know I keep saying that, but you collectors out there that really do truly collect records, you know what I'm saying. Like, this is cool stuff to have in your hands, right? I think so. Okay, how about we get into some country and Americana, and then I think we're gonna wrap up with some new modern rock. But let's get into some country and Americana first. And I got one in here that is a grail, absolute grail. Actually, I'd say two can we do back-to-back grails? Are we gonna overload the system? Let's try. Okay, this is not the one I was talking about, but this is a cool record. This is the Allman Brothers Band, Idlewild South. This is a issue number 88 from 2009. A great album, one that I think is a must-have in a lot of people's collections. But the one that I'm really cool, this is Grail number 1, not as big as Grail number 2, but how about the MoFi cut of At Fillmore East, man? This is just such a cool copy. 85, sealed, hard to find. This is a hard to find. If you're not familiar, this is a really hard to find and expensive record, especially if you find it in a good copy. And I'm so happy to get a sealed copy because everything's presumed mint. I'll be devastated if there's something going on that you can't see. But just a cool record to add to the collection. And honestly, it's probably one of the greatest live albums ever. And I'm really excited to get that one on the turntable. Okay, the next one is a grail. This is actually probably the biggest grail on my entire list. So if you got this far, hit that like button so I know that you made it and you got to see my grail. But this is a grail, and this is a hard to find record. It's only been printed on vinyl once, only through MoFi. They never reissued it. Yes, you can get it on CD. Yes, you can stream it. But if you want the record, you got to pay the price, because this was originally issued in 2006 and never reissued again. And I don't know why. I don't know why. If anybody knows why, please tell me in the comments. But this is Alison Krauss, Union Station Live. Box set here, man. 3 LPs in this. Low number again, number 87. And it's sealed. It's a sealed freaking copy, man. And I'm just so excited to find this, because this is another record that you just cannot find. I've been hunting for this album for a long time. The people that own this record just don't want to give it up, because they know you can't go buy another copy. It's not like, oh, I'll go get the $30 Amazon press or Walmart pressing of this album. It just doesn't exist. If you want it on record, it's this. This is what you have to buy. Limited edition version, MoFi. And then you got to hope that it's in good condition for you to be able to add to your collection. So I'm just super stoked about that one. That's probably, honestly, out of all these records, probably the first one that I'm probably going to get on the table, just because I've been waiting to get my hands on that for so freaking long. And I feel like now it has arrived. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, I got 2 more records to wrap out this category, and I got The Band. This is the self-titled record from 2013, and this is sort of the cornerstone of Americana. This is number 89, low number. Okay, we also have from the band Music from the Big Pink, their debut album. This was released in 2013, and this is number 98. So that wraps up my country and Americana section, leaving modern rock as the last 2. And I hope you enjoy these 2. I hope you really enjoyed this video. It's been a pleasure sharing this collection with you. And again, if there's any records you'd like me to dive deeper in or do a comparison with, I'm happy to do so. Just leave it in the comments below, because yeah, I share off these things, to show you my latest collections, but I share them off because I want your feedback on what you would like to know more about. But let's talk about this. This is Train. This is Drops of Jupiter. This came out in 2020. Low number as well. This is number 62. And I have some recent reissues of this album, and one of them I have, man, sounds so compressed. It just sounds mastered horribly wrong. I feel like they just took a CD, dumped it onto record, and then just did no mastering for vinyl. It's just the absolute wrong thing to do. So I'm excited to get this, because this is supposed to be really mastered well. Going by the comments and stuff I read, this is maybe the definitive copy of this album. I'm not really certain on that, but I'm really excited to give this a spin and give it a go. It's if you like Train, then you understand. If not, that's fine. I know that not everybody's a Train fan. Hopefully, maybe you're a fan of 10,000 Maniacs, though, because I did get the In My Tribe album, which is another record that's just been so difficult for me to find a nice copy of. So super excited to grab this one, add it to the collection. It's number 64. This is just one record that, again, even if you try to find some of the OGs, they usually are really, it's hard to find a really clean album of them. MoFi re-released this in 2011, and just even finding that has been difficult. So this is a gorgeous, folk rock album, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what MoFi has done to this. Yeah, so I mean, that pretty much is it, guys. That is 49 new records that I picked up from Mobile Fidelity. A majority of them, as you can see, probably 90–95% of them sealed, which is just phenomenal. And I would say probably more than half of them are low numbered, numbers that are under 100 or less. So really, really cool collection, collectible pieces added to the collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you, like I said before, if you've collected anything or purchased anything or pre-ordered anything from Mobile Fidelity recently, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And while you do that, I'll see you on the next video.